Located in the scenic Texas Hill Country, between historic Mason and Fredericksburg, Premier Ranch offers top-of-the-line hunting for trophy white-tailed deer, axis deer, black buck antelope, and upland game birds. This ranch is a working cattle ranch, so for Jay Presti, it feels like home. The one thing that has eluded Jay is the axis buck, and the Premier Ranch plans on changing that. This historic icon of Texas is the perfect backdrop for a hunting experience of a lifetime.
As hunters, we're misunderstood as people that dislike animals. I love animals, and I spend most of my time outdoors with them. I grew up on a ranch, and the life that we lived was simple. It's a life that most people aren't lucky enough to enjoy. Hunting's in my DNA. My ancestors hunted to survive, and what they passed on to me is imperative that I pass along to my family. The harvest of an animal does so much for us as humans. It creates a food source for us while strengthening the population. It is my responsibility to manage nature and help create a better ecosystem. That's just my life as a hunter. Well, this show, we're going to give you the true taste of Texas. My friends at the Premier Ranch invited me down. This is a cattle operation. Ranching and wildlife go together very well. A lot of people think they don't, but having a cattle ranch and a hunting operation together is a success. Driving into this place, you can just feel the history. You know, in 1872, German immigrants came, they founded this place, they started building it. The remnants are still there. They're still perfectly intact. These guys were amazing masons and builders. The barn's still sitting there pristine, as like you built it yesterday, the house. And it's just a cool experience to come in and think of what these people built with their hands that still stands. And it's very exciting that the Havila family and Premier Ranch is keeping that heritage alive and trying to maintain that history here on the ranch. We talked about it, and I've hunted Texas for a long time, and the one animal that's eluded me was an axis. This ranch has some of the nicest axis in the hill country. Not only do they have giant whitetail and great genetics, but their axis herd is one of the best ones down here. So we decided to come out this spring and do a little axis hunt. Got Carson at summer vacation. Her and Katie Ray, Jed and Victoria's daughter, they're best of friends. She takes off, Crystal and I head to this lodge, and we've got the whole lodge to ourselves, and it's set up just for the enjoyment of the time that you spend here. It's beautiful, it sits off in there, it's got history in it. Actually, back in the day, Howard Hughes, his company, the little part of this wing of this building was where he leased for his deer camp. So just to be sitting in this lodge in Texas and be part of where Howard Hughes used to take his company guys hunting back in the early years of the 1900s is pretty amazing. And it's more of a vacation.
I want to make sure that we're offering exactly what they're looking for in a hunt and in a stay, and I just want them to be comfortable, kind of feel like they're coming to stay with family and just enjoy themselves and just have a really good hunt, have a really good time. We are pretty diverse, from Jed handling the hunting and the cattle at the same time. We have John doing the marketing and the quail. Bobby was brought in, Steve met him at church, and it just seemed to be a fit for our food service part of it, and we all kind of have different roles.
Steve called me and said, hey, I need you to look at this place. It's got some great opportunity for quail hunting, which it does. The habitat is wonderful. Steve Havila was the Land Steward of the Year, which is a tremendous accomplishment, and getting involved with those guys is something that I really wanted to do. I find in Central Texas is not a lot of quail hunting or upland hunting, mainly because everyone's focused so much on deer hunting. Our deer season really takes us from October 1 into November. We're pretty much finished with it, which opens up a lot of months for some great world-class wing shooting.
We can't really control the weather. We can't control whether or not the animals are going to come in and give the hunter a good shot to take. And we can't control whether or not the hunter makes a good shot. And so the one thing that we can control is the lodge and the food. So we strive that even if the hunter hasn't had a good hunt, that we want to make sure that they have good meals and leave here satisfied with some of the best foods that we could come up with and cook out here.
A lot of people offer hunting, and a lot of people have big deer. We wanted to offer that, but we also wanted to offer the history and the experience of this beautiful country and the kind of people that are involved with this. And so it's really a whole experience that we're trying to portray and share with people. You know, we like to believe that when people come out here and they get to know us, they come out and become friends, and they remain friends from that point forward. You know, we want to share this. God has blessed us with the opportunity to be stewards of something this awesome, and we have a responsibility to share it with others and to take care of it and to enhance it and improve it, which has been something that I've been very interested in for a great number of years. I've studied a lot about management for both wildlife and livestock, and enhancing the quality of the forage for both.
My boys from Nature Blind set me up a Nature Blind about 6 weeks ago, and it's perfect. You know, I love hunting out of these blinds. No matter if it's hot or cold, you're kind of protected in there. You've got a bunch of foam around you, they're quiet, you can stick them out, they look great, and they'll last a long time. It is nice of them to take care of me and have this blind set up, because I'm trying to get this access with my bow if I can, but I'm a true hunter. I've been after this axis a long time. If I can get a shot with my bow, great. If I don't, and I only have a shot with my rifle, I'm gonna try and get an axis. Axis are probably one of the most unpredictable species I've ever hunted in Texas. You really can't pattern them. You have to kind of figure out they need food or water. And if you can catch them at a water hole or maybe a protein feeder for the deer, that's the only chance you get. The brush is so thick and this ranch is so vast, it's gonna be really hard to spot and stalk one. Jed needed to move some cows out of a pasture, and you know, he knows that I've been a horseback a few times, so we decided to get a horseback. Never miss a chance to do that. And he put me on one of his good ones to take care of me, and we'd go lope around these big, pretty black cattle and start pushing them in, and we come across where it all started, the history of the ranch.
For Jay, there's not a better way to see the ranch than from the seat of a saddle.
Tell me about the history on this place.
Oh, Jay, there's so much history. It's hard to find a place to start. You know, it says 1917 on the old main house up here. Well, that's actually when the porch was put on the main house. That old house was actually they started construction on that house in 1872 and finished in 75. And some of these people right here in the cemetery are the ones that did that very work. Heinrich Friedrich Kothman, the premier ranch belonged to the Kothman family. The Kothman family came from Germany. Heinrich Friedrich, I believe, was born in about 1835 and migrated over here as a young boy, and did very hard labor and went through some very, very hard times. And finally migrated to this part of Texas, and at that time, nobody had settled this country yet. I think there were some things at that time where you could get a land grant and claim some land, and he was able to do that. And then claim a little bit more and a little bit more. And finally, to make a long story short, put together a very large ranch right here in the middle of the Texas Hill Country. And he started with another place a little further down the road and realized that it wasn't the type of country that he wanted. And he decided, he told his family, he said, we need to find something that's got very fertile soil and good water on it. And that's how he picked this spot. And so that's how the Premier Ranch got started. Now the Premier name did not come along till about early 1900s, somewhere in there. Heinrich Friedrich, who is in the middle here, had 9 boys. He had 8 of those boys by the lady on our right. When she passed away, she died of a disease, and when she did, he hired this lady here on this side to come help with the boys and to help take care of them. Well, that began a relationship between the 2 of these, and they had 1 more boy, and that was Elgin Kothman, whose name is on the Premier Ranch gate down here. And Elgin is actually buried in the other plot right here in front of Heinrich Friedrich. They called him Fritz. Fritz left the ranch to his wife, his current wife at the time, and then upon her passing, she gave it to all the boys and was very fair about it. They all got pretty equal parts, but her son, which was Elgin kept the main part, the headquarters of the Premier Ranch, and got the part with the house and the meat house and the milk barn and all that on it. Premier Ranch is a part of Havilah Ranches. Steve and Margaret Havilah have 6 different ranches. The name of that entity is Havilah Ranches, and Premier Ranch is one of those pieces.
Important part of this ranch is getting to see all the land. You know, a lot of times you go hunt, you go to your place where you're hunting, and that's it, back to the lodge. But Jed and I, he knew I wanted to see the ranch, so we get in the Ranger from Freedom Power Sports, and I think he likes driving my Ranger quite a bit because I got to ride passenger, or he's being really nice and just chauffeuring me around. Jed and I stumbled upon their old hunt blinds, 1930s, 1940s cabs. We decided to have a little fun. Something moves in here. It's not gonna be good.
Look like Flintstone?
Yeah. I'm gonna be out.
We'll pick this thing up.
Let's see if he's got his hunt license in there. Oh. Hunting with Jed.
Yeah. Go forward. Okay. Okay.
This is a great idea.
Forward. You're gonna tear.
I'm out. I'm the big one now. We know if I can get out, you can get out. This is one of the prettiest ranches I've seen in the hill country. And we get down to this bottom, and the grass this year is lush. You've got wildflowers, love grass, which I found out love grass and me do not get along. I was trying to be tough, but my eyes were swollen shut, and it was time to head back to the lodge and see if we can't save the day.
Poor thing. This is how we take care of allergies. With, oh.
You need another bottle.
You want me to die? You probably won't ever want to leave Premier Ranch, but 20 minutes down the road is my favorite town to visit in Texas, Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg has shopping, breweries, great German food, wineries. I mean, there's a little everything. I even go down here with my mountain bike. There's 2 or 3 mountain bike trails. It is the best place to come visit in Texas, 20 minutes from the gate. On the way there, you pass Hilltop Cafe, some of the best dining around. Great cuisine, amazing cooks, but the atmosphere is off the chart. The owner just used to play for Asleep at the Wheel. And in town, you've got true Texas shops. You've got Easterling's Boot Company. They can make you some custom boots. You've got little boutiques for the ladies. So guys, talk your wife into coming. If she's not into hunting, send her to Fredericksburg. If she's into hunting, take her to Premier Ranch, then go to Fredericksburg. But I promise you, when you come out here, you're gonna wanna go visit Fredericksburg. Been hunting this axis. First night, of course, we see him, no camera. We've been trying everything. We've walked the ridges, we've tried to look in the bottoms. We've finally got to the point where the only way we're gonna get a chance at him is sit in that nature blind and just wait him out. And it's super hot, and we're starting to kind of wonder if he's gonna show up. We get set up on our nature blind. I've got my bow, I've got my Accurate Arms as a backup. just in case we see one way out there. I've been hunting this guy for a long time. And we start to sit, and it's just a neat time of year. You're just not generally sitting out here early summer, and the deer are starting to come into velvet. We're seeing some fawns on the ground. It's just a beautiful time to be sitting in a blind. And the whitetail bucks are showing up one after the other. And these guys just start growing, and they're already monstrous. You can see the great big knots on the end of their horns. These are gonna be some great deer. And finally, we see a little spotted axis coming in. All of a sudden, the whitetail just gets spooked. They split, they run off. I don't know if it's a varmint or whatever, a coyote's coming in, but everything leaves. About that time, I look out the nature blind window. Here he is. My big Axis buck's coming in. It's right at the last minute. It's putting the pressure on me. I've got so much light to get him on film, and he's here, and I'm gonna get a chance at him. Right then, I knew the time of night it was too dark. I'm not gonna be able to see my pins in this blind, and I decide, make the ethical choice. My rifle's right here. If we get him in rifle range, let's get him down. I get my accurate arms, got my Vortex scope. There's a good chance I'm gonna get my Axis.
Oh my God. He's down. Oh my gosh.
You never know in life when you're gonna get another chance to fulfill a dream. And a dream is fulfilled for me, whether it was with my bow or my rifle. And the rifle I shot, I love. Accurate arms, they've been great to me. I'm a new Good Luck Sling from Jam Capriola's little cowboy store at home, which is fitting. The Premier Ranch out here is a cattle operation that just happens to have some of the best hunting in Texas. Jed and Victoria and his family have taken such amazing care of us. I just can't tell you what an experience it is here. Right outside of Mason, Fredericksburg down the road. And this Axis right here is something that I've been trying to get for years, and I've got it. And I've got it here at Premier Ranch. I've got some great meat to go in the freezer. I have a memory of a lifetime on one of the greatest ranches I've ever visited in Texas. Thank you. That's my camera girl. Hope she left the camera on because I can't brag enough on how lucky I am to have her. Not only is she beautiful, she's a great hunter, and a lot of these animals that I've got with her, she usually spots for me. So I'll never ever put this on the show because then you guys would know that the girl in the show is the superstar. I'm just the lucky guy that gets to fire the pins.
Come on now! Holy moly!
Is that a toad?
Oh my word!
I'm so tickled.
Come on.
Jed. I'm so tickled, man.
Oh, brother.
Thank you, man. I'm a hugger. I'm sweating and a hugger.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
is beautiful.
Holy yeah.
It really amazes me how good that God can be to you. You know, this year, a month ago, I was supposed to come hunt the Premier Ranch and got the sudden news my mom passed away. And So that takes a while to take care of. And after all that, to come here to the Premier Ranch was so healing, so good to be back in the outdoors. And I'm just so thankful to be around great people after this. And just, it's part of life, but it's so nice to be able to get back outdoors and let the healing start, to sit in the blind, see the wildflowers, see the whitetail and velvet, watch the baby turkeys chase their moms around. It's just, it's been a great trip.